Howdy boys! In this video we're going to be going over a tour of my supercar garage in GTA Online. We're going to be doing this in the CEO office if you guys couldn't already tell from the backdrop, because there are 20 car slots, which is actually just like a ridiculous amount of cars to have in one garage. Super cool that Rockstar added this into the game even though it's not a new feature. But yeah, let's hop into it. First up, in a double little showcase, we have the Trafade Nero and the Trafade Nero Custom. This one is the Trafade Nero Custom, if you guys couldn't tell, because it has the big wing, and this one is the regular Trafade Nero, a little simpler version. For the Nero Custom, it's actually kind of like an heirloom from my earlier days in GTA. Harmnun, Twingo, and I all built matching Trafade Nero Customs so that when we were doing stunt races, people would know not to mess with us, because if you messed with one of these bright blues, this is my crew color actually, if you messed with one of these bright blue Bugattis, you'd be messing with all of them, and so we'd pull up, and that was a lot of fun. This one was made just to kind of like be a simpler version of that. So yeah, super cool cars. Next up, we have the Ocelot XA21. This is my absolute favorite car in the game, I think. It's so beautiful, it's so sleek, it's got the active spoiler, it sounds absolutely amazing. Definitely one of the best sounding cars in the game. If you guys haven't checked out my top 10 best sounding cars in GTA list, this is featured there, so you guys should definitely go check that out. And I think it just looks incredible in this midnight blue. I think it's just so sleek, and it's just such a nice, it's like such a well designed car. Like, I have no complaints at all. I would highly recommend you guys get one of these if you haven't, because this is probably like one of my best. Next up, we have the Pegassi Tempesta. This car used to be the fastest supercar in the game. That was a very, very long time ago, though. I was almost prehistoric, like straight up. That was back in the Cunning Stunts DLC, which came out 6 years ago. Can you believe that? Oh my god. And it has since been heavily, like, it's been kicked from its throne and like stomped on and then like trampled and then buried. And now people are lighting the grave on fire. Like, it's pretty far down there now. It definitely does not compete anywhere near the top. However, it is still quite a beautiful car. This is like, when Rockstar first added the Tempesta, I felt like they were moving in the right direction with Lamborghinis, because the front definitely looks like a Lambo. The back, it could definitely use some work. So it would be nice to see an updated Huracan, but the Tempesta, I just think is like, it's still such a nice car. I just wish I had better spoiler options, because that's probably like my biggest complaint, is that I don't want to drive it because it doesn't look good with a spoiler, but then it doesn't handle well without a spoiler. So it's like, it's a lose-lose, you know, but it just sits here. Looks pretty. Next up, we have the Overflawed Entity XXR. Engine resistance. Like all the other Entity cars, this one has engine resistance, and it makes it really like not enjoyable to drive, even despite the fact that this car looks absolutely amazing. I personally am like a huge fan of all of the Koenigseggs in this game, and they got the rear down really well as well. However, it just is not that fun to drive because of the engine resistance, so hopefully Rockstar gets that fixed. Makes this a decent car. And then last on the first floor is my baby. It's the Progen T20. This was my first big purchase in GTA Online. I farmed so many trash talks, which is a mission where you have to blow up trash trucks, if you guys don't know that, for so long in order to be able to buy this car. And it's been with me ever since, and I absolutely adore this car. I think it looks beautiful, and it did used to be the best car in the game. However, we're very, very far from that time. However, it's like a very nice drive still, and I think it looks incredible, especially from the back, and it's still cool that it has the active spoiler. If you guys do have some spare cash, I would pick this one up. Next up on the second floor, we have another double showcase. This is the Dubachi Spectre Custom. These two are not supercars. However, I feel like they should be included in this garage tour because they look so good. This pink one is like probably one of my coolest builds I've ever done. I think it just looks so clean. I don't know how many of you guys are fans of pink, but I personally am like a huge fan of it. I think it looks incredibly sleek, and I'm just very proud of this car overall. And then this one over here was a little more Hot Wheels inspired. There's this series I used to watch called Acceleracers, and there are these guys called the Teku, and they basically had like this kind of like ultra like bluish surfer techie kind of vibes, and this car is a little messier than that, but I think the car shape fits, and it just looks like something they would drive. I think it's like super cool. So I think these two sitting in this garage like are very pleasant to the eyes. And then up next we have another double showcase. We have the Itali GTB Custom on the left and the normal Itali GTB on the right. These cars they're all right. Like they're kind of mid, I'm not gonna lie. However, they do look pretty sick, especially from the front. This one does say Tinkle on it, hence the piss stripes. Piss car looks cool. And then this one, I actually put a little more effort into the color on this one. This one I kind of just wanted to make it fit in with like the fun colors, you know. But then for this one, I went for a candy red with a bright orange pearlescent, and it's kind of like, it's a little more unique than the standard red with the orange pearlescent. I think with the black rims and the tuner wings, it just looks, it's so beautiful. And then next up, we have the Vapid FMJ, which is supposed to be based on a Ford GT, which I think they nailed pretty well from the back. This is like almost an exact replica, except maybe take away the wing. Then from the sides as well. However, from the front, it's supposed to be based on like the Aston Martin Vulcan, which in case you guys don't know, the Dubachi Champion is also supposed to be based on that. And so they look almost identical from the mirror images of each other. So kind of funny how that turned out. I've always liked the FMJ. However, it is pretty, it kind of does feel like you're driving on ice. Then we have the Progen Tyrus. I love this car. This is probably in my top 5 favorite cars in GTA. Just because I think, like the XA21, while it might not be the fastest, it's definitely not slow, and it grips the ground. It handles itself well in the corners. So I think it's a super cool looking car as well. Very alligator-esque. Hence the blue and the gasoline green pearlescent. I wish the car had a little more customization because I think it does look absolutely beautiful, even though it's very long. More customization would be cool to see because it is a race car and it still has like no customization option. Hopefully they update it. Unlikely, but you never know, so I'm praying. And then our final car in the second row is the Progen GP1. I actually hated this car on release. I thought it was so ugly and I didn't know how to customize it. And I did like 4 customizations before I finally got this one, which I was pretty happy with. I think it looks really cool with in the white with kind of like the red, and then the red detailing like throughout the car. You can see on like the little latches. It's on the engine right here, and then it's also in the back on the headlights and the exhaust. I did go for the 8 exhaust options. I thought it was that was the gamer move. I do think it looks pretty sick overall. Like I would be very happy to take this out on the street, and I would be confident that I would receive compliment. It kind of looks like Baymax now that I'm thinking about it. Big marshmallow. I don't know if Baymax has red. Maybe like some minor detailing. And then on our third and final floor, first up we have the Pegassi Torero XO. I'm sure you guys who have been watching the channel know by now, but I have a love-hate relationship with this car. It is absolutely stunning. Like I had to like scream when I first saw it. A super beautiful looking car, and I'm very happy with the direction that Rockstar is going with Lamborghini. This is very much what we should have been getting. However, I'm grateful that it is later than I'd hoped. My biggest issue with it though is like, one, it like doesn't weigh anything, so it kind of sucks to drive. And 2, for the customization options, if you can't tell, there's like 3 different blacks in the car. We have the Forge, splitter, and skirts. We have carbon mirrors, and the window outline is black. And unfortunately, I cannot match any of those because there's not enough options in the car. So hopefully they update that, because overall the Torero is like, it's so fast. It's really pretty. So great car overall. Next up, we have the Sultan RS. I don't know if you guys own Sultans, but I personally am a huge fan of the Sultan RS. I didn't know it was in the game until I met Harmnun, and his customization of it was super cool. It was like white with the black stripes, and I was like, this is way cooler than like the T20 and the Osiris, because no one ever featured this in their thumbnails, even though it used to be one of the fastest supercars in the game. I think it was the #1 spot for a while, and then it unfortunately got dethroned. The Banshee, who then got dethroned by the T20 and Osiris. I went for a kind of like just a simple blue street build. I didn't really aim for anything in particular. I just think it looks super cool and it sounds cool, and like customizing it is a ton of fun. So I'm a big fan of the Sultan. Anyone who is ever driving a Sultan on the street is like, it's like drastically different than everything else you've ever seen. It's a very unique car because no two ever look the same. So I love this one. And then next up, speak of the devil, is the Banshee 900R. I think this car is super underrated. I never see it on anyone's list or anything anymore. It is like not the king of anything anymore. It used to be really fast in a straight line. However, it is heavily beaten by the Torero, the 811, and many other cars. I just have a simple Fast and Furious build on mine because I got it a long time ago and it's been sitting in the vault. But I do think it's a great looking car and it sounds cool as well. Next up is the customization battle winning entity MT. I think this car is so beautiful. It's so sexy. I think it looks really clean with all of the options that you're given. Like the two-tone, you would think that the two-tone's like built into the car, and then the splitter and the cannon just don't look ugly. The wing is like made for this car. It's super cool, and the pinstripe fits very well. I think it looks great in this Mariner blue because it looks like the Regera, and I think it looks great in this Mariner blue because it looks just like the Regera. So super great car. Also sounds really cool with the Wisp. Next up, we have the Pfister 811, formerly the fastest car in the game. However, it has been like also stomped on kind of by the top now. The Torero smokes this thing in a straight line, unfortunately, or at least it would take a very long time for this to catch up because the Torero just has ridiculous acceleration and if not a faster top speed, slightly slower. Nonetheless, I think this car is it's quite nice. I'm a fan of the design. It's very dolphin-like. I just wish there was a little more customization in the front side. I don't know. It does look like a fish. It's staring you down so blank with its braces. The overall great car. It's fun to just go like super fast. However, if that's your goal, like there's probably better investments like the Torero. So hopefully they update this car in some way, but I doubt. Next up, we have the Grotti Itali RSX. I know this one also is not a supercar. This is a sports car, in case you guys don't know. However, it does look very supercar-esque and is the closest thing in the game to one of my dream cars, which is the Lamborghini Centenario. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I tried to stylize mine like the Centenario from Forza Horizon 3's cover art. I think that car was like, that was an enlightening experience for me. I'd never played a Forza game before that, and the Centenario was like, everyone already had a favorite Lamborghini, and I just thought this one was like so sleek because you know, the Aventador is very aggressive looking, and the Sesto Elemento is also kind of like that, and then the Huracan was just like a little too small and boxy. So I was a huge fan of the Centenario, and I tried to stylize mine with the splitters being yellow and then the car being an anthracite black. I think it looks so good. It literally just looks like a supercar. Like, tell me this does not look like a supercar. Unfortunately, it does have broken downforce. Otherwise, it might be the best sports car in the game above the Itali GTO. Smokes this thing in the corners, and it could even outperform a lot of top supercars. However, that is not the reality we live in. So, yeah, we're stuck with it like this as a sports car. But oh well, it still looks great, and I'm a big fan of this one. Our final car on this list is the Pegassi Ignit. This thing is like, it's so cool looking. It's so aggressive and menacing. Like the Torero, Rockstar's taking a step in the right direction with by adding Lamborghinis like this. This one is super cool and a great representation of what Lamborghinis should be like in GTA. I think this black and white customization looks super sick on it. It's like very menacing, and the livery also like matches it as well. It gives it extra little detail. So super cool monochrome look. I'm super proud of this one actually. I haven't driven it a whole lot. However, I do know that it has a decently high top speed, tied with the Champion. Well, that's going to conclude our Supercar Garage tour. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite car from my garage was. I think I have a ton of great customization options here, and I'm very proud of them all. And I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on them. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. There's going to be more related content coming out soon. Hopefully I can do another car garage tour because this was actually a ton of fun to film. So that's going to be it for this one. Take care, boys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.